Hi there, how are you? So, in this lesson, we're going to look at if we want to change the economic system that we have from a debt-based system to a different type of system, then we have to decide what value we're going to put into that system. Now, what do I mean by that? The current value of our economic system is debt. So, as money is issued into the system, it automatically has a negative value. Okay, we're talking about, as we've talked about in the past videos, the money never actually belongs to the people. It always belongs to the bankers. So when it's issued to us as money, it's issued as a negative value. It has a value that is less than zero. Okay, and for that reason, we never. Although we may have lots of money, all we are accumulating is lots of negative value. We're accumulating lots of things that belong to somebody else. Okay, so in the current economic system, we cannot become rich because inherently the money that we use has a negative value. It belongs to somebody else. But that doesn't mean that if we want to change the economic system, that we can change it to a system that doesn't require value. The economic system does need something to measure its value against. Otherwise, we don't know how much things are worth. So, before the fiat system, you remember we had the gold standard. Now, that was the value of the system. The value was the price of gold. So the value of the money was considered to be equal to the amount of gold that was stored in a country. So let's say a country had £1 million worth of gold. One, two, three. Had £1 million worth of gold, then it could issue £1 million worth of money. Okay, now as we discussed as well, the problem that the gold standard had is that there's a limited amount of gold. So once you have all the gold, you then can't issue any more money, because if you issue more money, all you're doing is taking the value of every pound. In this case, if you have £1 million worth of gold and you print another £1 million, you haven't now got £2 million. You've got £2 million that's worth £1 million. So each pound has dropped in value by half. So the reason we stopped using the gold standard is because it limited the amount of economic growth there could be. So we either have a fiat system where the money's backed by nothing, so inherently we can print as much as we like and nothing happens, which is the system that we have at the minute, except it's debt-based. So if we do print more, we end up owing more, okay? Or we have it backed by something. But of course, if you back your money by something like gold, which is limited in value because there's a limited amount of gold available, then you're going to have a limited currency. Okay, so if we are going to back our economic system by something with something else, it needs to be something. So our value backed economic system. First of all, it needs to be something infinitely valuable. Valuable. And it needs to be something infinitely available. Which means we can have an infinite amount of money. Yeah? Because when it's backed by gold, there's a limited amount of gold, therefore there's a limit to the amount of money that you can print. That, can you think of anything in this world that could be considered infinitely valuable and infinitely available? Is there anything, when you look around, that could be considered infinitely valuable and infinitely available? Any idea? Anybody? No? Yeah? Life is infinitely valuable and infinitely available. Now, bear with me 1 second. What do I mean by life? I mean life, all life, human life, animal life, plant life, sea life, all kinds of life. Okay? How about if we have that as our value for our economic system? Yeah? I mean, I've talked about the water cycle economic system, where we have an almost infinite pot of money, pot of water, sea money, that we can just cycle round and round and round and round our economic system. Well, if our economic system is based on the value of life, then we basically we have an infinitely valuable economic system. Now, that's just a suggestion that comes to my mind. But it really doesn't matter what we back our value-backed economic system with. So long as it's value-based and not debt-based, it doesn't matter. Because, I mean, for example, another value that we could, I mean, how would a human life how would a human life backed economic system, or even just a life, no need to be just human, a life backed economic system? Well, let's say, for example, for every human, you could say, well, for every human we will pump £1 million into the system. Every time a human being is born, we'll put the value on their life of £1 million. We pump £1 million into the system. What does that mean? It would mean that every time you turn 18, well, not every time you turn 18, you only turn 18 once, but every time somebody turns 18, they would get that £1 million. Because the fact that they're alive is valuable and they need something to live on, so we can give them money. Now, I pull £1 million out, it doesn't have to be £1 million. Okay, but that's that. Then, for every animal life, we can pump some money into the system. So let's say you breed cows for milk. So you get paid for every cow that you have, you see. Not that you get paid, but money can be pumped into the system for every cow that is in the system that's going to provide value to the human beings, you see. This is all about the stuff getting pumped into the system that provides value to the system. You see, so we need humans in the system, otherwise we have nothing. We need animals in the system, otherwise we have nothing. Plant life. You know, count up how many trees there are. Well, we'll do it £10 a tree, let's say, for example. But we count up what, the value that there is in the world, and we print money based on the value of everything that's natural and alive. You see, I mean, that's a much better way of counting value, in my opinion, than counting debt. Yeah? And then, of course, the other way is adding value. Because I talk to people about this and they say, oh, well, if money was just available, then the human beings would become lazy, we wouldn't do anything. Well, I would argue with that. And just bear with me for a second. I mean, if you didn't have to go to work, right? If you didn't have to go to work and you had as much money available to you as you needed for what you want to do, what would you be doing? What would you be doing? I mean, I'm sure at the beginning people would say, oh, I'd be on a beach drinking pina coladas, or, I'd be at the beach drinking beer, or, First of all, you would do the going on holiday thing because you want to get out of your system the years and years of crap work, right? But once the novelty of the holiday period has run off, of the doing nothing, you're going to want to do something. Human beings are naturally inquisitive. We naturally want to do something. Now, there's going to come a point once the holiday period's over that you're going to be thinking, well, I need to do something. I'm bored, right? And that's when the beauty of this system kicks in. Because if you turn 18 and you get given £1 million and you just get told, look, go out and bring value to the human race, you're going to go out and do what you love. Because that's what's going to come natural to you, is to go out and do what you love. And you've got £1 million to spend doing what you love. But the proviso is that you add value back into the system. So let's say, for example, I love paragliding. Excuse me. I love paragliding. So if we keep the adult age 18, for example, if we were to change our education system from a sit down, shut up, obey, do what we tell you, go out and get a job education system, to years of getting children to believe that they can be who they want to be. And by the way, spend your time as children playing and investigating exactly what it is that you like to do, that's what children do. All they want to do is play and investigate and find out what they enjoy doing. That's all play is, right? So you actually spend your time as a child playing, discovering what it is that motivates you. And then when you turn 18, you get given £1 million to go and do it. But add value back into the human race. So let's say I discover in the first 18 years of my life that I love flying, and of all those flying techniques, I love flying paragliders. So I get given £1 million when I'm 18, and I go off and I start a paragliding school. I add value back in by doing what I love. Doing what I love. So I take this money, I go up and set up my paragliding school, and I'm adding value back into the human society because I'm giving back something that people want, which is to learn how to fly paragliders. Now, the same, maybe you're the kind of person who loves medicine. So you take that money and you go and learn how to heal people. And you dedicate yourself to healing people, but you're adding value back. Do you see where I'm going with this? Maybe you enjoy cooking. So you decide that you're going to take that money, you're going to go and open a restaurant. But the idea with this value-backed economic system is that you are not enslaved to somebody. You're not told you must work for the money that we are printing for you. It costs us such hard work to print this money, therefore you must go and work 10 and 12 hours a day to earn this hard printed money. No, money's free. We'll give you money, go out, explore what it is that turns you on, that gets you motivated, that's going to make you happy. And because you're happy, you want to bring happiness to the human race. Do you see how much better a system like this is? A value-based system. Especially if it's backed by life, which is the most valuable thing that is here. There is nothing more valuable than life. Life cannot be bought or sold, but it can be used as a value, as a measure. You see, it's not like you get paid £1 million and this is like, oh, well, now you belong to the system because the system has given you £1 million. No, the system has given you £1 million because you are inherently worth something, because you are alive. Do you see that? And this is another thing that the mentality of the human being needs to change. That, you are alive. You know how much your life is worth to you. Therefore, if your life is worth that much to you, it's also worth that much to me. Why? Because I'm also alive and my life is worth the same as yours. So if your life is worth an infinite amount, then so is mine and so is everybody's. So we have an infinite resource, an infinite value. You see, the problem with our debt-based system is that it makes you, it's like your life is being traded as a commodity. You know, your life is deemed, as soon as you're born, you belong to the state, you belong to the system. You know, the Matrix has you. I mean, that's exactly what it's talking about. You are born into a system where you inherently belong to somebody else, which is why you have to have a national identity number and a birth certificate and a stamp. You're giving a number. You are branded like cattle in this system. Whereas in a value-backed economic system, your life is not debt. Your life is value, which is as it should be. You see, life is so inherently valuable. So this is what I propose, and what we're going to look at in the coming videos is how we as a people, because I mean, the only reason that the debt-based economic system is in force is because we comply with it. But you have a choice. I mean, this is the thing. You are made to think that you don't have a choice, but you do have a choice. There is always a choice. Always. There's always a choice. So we can choose as a people to not step out of the current debt economic system. We can piggyback on it while we start forming our own value-backed economic system. You see? And in the next videos, I'm going to go into how we start to free ourselves up as people from this debt-based economic system and start giving value back into the system while we form our own new value-backed economic system, and how you and how I and how everybody can do this. So have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.